Mindfulness is about being grounded, present, aware, and understanding yourself on a deeper level, tuning into that and honoring that. You begin with yourself. So there's so much bombardment of information, of people selling things, of people saying things, of people prophesizing things, the news, the media, what's real, what's not real anymore. But that is like a real big mothership matrix where it's guiding people. They can have you on an emotion. Do you know what I mean? But the key is to be aware of if it's real, if it's not real, and not to go into that story that they're putting the narrative out. Otherwise, they're controlling your emotions of the main mass of people, which I think has got a lot less now, especially since probably Twitter's been taken over by X, and, TikTok has allowed more to be out there than the algorithms of the other platforms.
Hi, I'm Charles Chudabala, and welcome back to the Uncaged Mindset Podcast. And today, we're going to get mindful and grounded. Here to talk all about mindfulness and getting grounded in the year 2025 is mindfulness facilitator and award-winning author of the books My Magical Tree and My Magical Garden. She is also the founder of the Angels of Light Children's Foundation. Please welcome back to the podcast, my good friend, Terri Allen.
Thank you, Charles. Thanks for having me back. It's always a pleasure and an honor to spend time with you. So thank you.
Well, I'm already feeling grounded. I'm already feeling grounded in your presence and mindful. And I thought that, it was obviously a really good time to talk about mindfulness and grounding right now. We're going through a lot of energy shifts in the world. We've got a lot of geography changes in the world, in the planet. We've got, things just changing politically as well. We've got a lot of news happening from left to right. We've got social media news on TikTok. It's just, people don't know where to look right now. And the message just keeps coming up, which is, all right, let's get back to grounding. Let's get back to mindfulness. And so you are the perfect person to come here and talk about it. But on a deeper level, Terri, before we get into what mindfulness is, because I want to ask you how you define it to teach people really what that is today as we dive deep. How did you find mindfulness? How did mindfulness come into your life? Because you are a mindfulness facilitator. You teach mindfulness to children. And I mean, your path is really taking you to get people more connected to source energy, through your work with the angels and your crystal bed. Like, how did you find this path of mindfulness?
I think that I obviously started to meditation first, so I did meditation sessions, group meditation sessions, internationally and locally. And then, after doing the children's books, My Magical Garden, My Magical Tree, after doing a course called Holistic Educational Therapy, which was also part of mindfulness, but a combination of holistic healing therapies as well. I wanted to dive deeper into mindfulness. So I started to study it more. Didn't realise I'd already written 2 mindfulness books before then. Not really, because it was way back in 2013, the first one. And not many people speaking so much about mindfulness then. I think it's Goldie Hawn that was the one that was putting it out there back in the day. But it was only come to me that they said, these are mindfulness books. And I was like, oh, wow, I suppose in a way, yeah, you're right. So then I, after studying and counselling holistic educational therapy and meditation and some mindfulness, I delved deeper into mindfulness when I went to UCLA. So I was there for UCLA for 2 years, learning mindfulness education, which really took it on a whole deeper level for myself and for our children's foundation and for our work, really. So just to bring it into everything, but also to sharpen yourself, Very important for you to, like Eckhart Tolle has it down perfectly. It's more about, being really fully aware and present in the moment. I don't think I've ever seen him not being present in the moment and aware. I mean, I'd like to ask him whether he floats off or not, but, we all do. But looking and watching him is very grounded and rooted in mindfulness. Probably that's why he's
Yeah.
the number one person in the world with it, really, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, you can't watch it when you can't listen to him when you're driving. That's for sure. You need to park your car.
You're right. You're right. You can't. And he pauses for such a long time. I thought, oh, has my video gone off? Hasn't. He's pausing to think before he answers. He slows everything down. So he's actually, you're all working on his level. If his energy is dominating, like slow it all down and be in the moment, be very present. You know, it's interesting, and he's just very, he's amazing really at what he does. You know.
So is that? I mean, is that part of what mindfulness is? Is slowing down and stopping? Is it just that, or is it? How would you define for somebody who's never really heard of it or is using it in a way that really isn't mindful?
Mindfulness is a big, people. It's much more than what people think it is. You know, it's like you said. There's so much distraction out in the world. Where do people begin? They begin with themselves. You go, you begin with yourself. So there's so much bombardment of information, of people selling things, of people saying things, of people prophesizing things, the news, the media, what's real, what's not real anymore. But that is like a real big mothership matrix where it's guiding people. They can have you on an emotion. Do you know what I mean? But the key is to be aware of if it's real, if it's not real, and not to go into that story that they're putting the narrative out. Otherwise, you're just wandering from one end to the other. So they're using you, really. They're controlling your emotions of the main mass of people, which I think has got a lot less now, especially since probably Twitter's been taken over by X, and, TikTok has allowed more to be out there than the algorithms of the other platforms. So to me, mindfulness is about really getting to know yourself a lot deeper within and undoing the patterns that you've been riding on and being programmed with from a young age, from your family to education to society. That's a lot, and to really get back to you, what you want, who are you, why are you here? It's so important. And that's what mindfulness is, being also grounded in awareness, but also knowing when you've gone off. I'm not grounded all the time, but you need to be knowing when you're going with an energy of someone else or you're going with an energy of this, and does that energy suit me or not? And a lot of people don't know that, and they just go with it and they're on autopilot. Mindfulness is about being grounded, present, aware, and understanding yourself on a deeper, deeper level, tuning into that and honoring that alignment and that vibration. That's what I feel mindfulness is,
Never ever have I heard a definition like that as extensive as mindfulness is really like what you if describing is understanding kind of like what those patterns are, understanding your energy versus somebody else's energy. But it sounds like it takes some deep work within yourself. I mean, that most people are maybe not ready to do.
You have to look at yourself. There's aspects of ourselves. I mean, I did that a lot with all the energy healing work that I did to become an energy healer and an intuitive before I even did any of these. You have to do a lot of deep inner trauma and work in childhood, inner child work on yourself. So, the mindfulness was like the cherry on the top, really, for me. I had gone deep. If you've got a lot of that deep stuff going on, there needs to be a combination of healing modalities for you, really. But yeah, it is. But it also, mindfulness is the part of it where it's okay to look at yourself, but without judgment.
That's hard for a lot of people.
Well, we're in a judging society. You're judged from school. You're judged by your parents. But you've got to look at yourself kindly and lovingly and go, okay, is that something I was repeating from my childhood, or is it mine, or is it outside, or what is that? What is this that keeps coming up for me? Why does that keep coming up that I don't like about it? What do I need to change? What do I need to look at? But, look at it lovingly as an outside thing. So stepping back and looking in on it and saying, okay, let's remove that, because everyone's got programming from their parents, trauma, healing, the same story as their parents, and the same energy. When you see people walking If the dad's a bit hunchback, you guarantee some of the kids might be hunchback. You know, there's a whole energy. Just watch people, you know, and also to know what story are you on? Are you on your story, your parents' story, society's story, someone else's story? You feeding into someone else? What are you doing? You know, follow what feels right for you. A lot of us are also told from a young age, you know, you got to do as you're told. Sit there, do. I mean, hopefully school is different today, but I remember back in my day, you didn't have a choice, you know, and so now it's like giving children that education, and especially young, when they're young, to really give them the tools and the skills and the mindset to self-navigate, know they are, draw out what's inside out. Why are you here? Not put all this other stuff on top and then they get lost again in the system, you know?
Yeah, that's powerful, Terry. Like these are things I didn't learn as a kid. They're not taught in school. We're not taught to kind of feel into what my energy is, and you know what patterns are mine, and you know is it me that wants to become a doctor? You know, is it me that you know am I mad about that person right now, or is that somebody else telling me that I should be mad about that? You know, am I feeling shame or guilt? Is that my guilt, or is that someone else's guilt? Because you know, I don't know about you, Terry, but I was, you know, taught to sit. You know, I had a chair, I had a desk, and we were there for hours until the bell rang to go play, right? Play. And then we would come in right on time, right on schedule. We would learn whatever it was that they told us to learn. We'd go back home, and, you know, if I had like my Nintendo, then I would play that. But what you're getting at is like the know thyself of it all, of just like allowing us to just the space and time. There is no space and time. They don't allow that space and time for kids to actually just like, how am I hungry? Like even at a physical level, am I hungry? Am I thirsty? You know, am I full?
They don't allow, there's no space. There's no time to think. You go from one lesson to another, unless you're in a school that's like Waldorf education or a homeschooling program or a forest school or these green school in Bali, different schools that are being set up. Then your children are allowed to play and be outside more and to learn more through being in nature, doing schoolwork in nature, you know, life skills, doing it all outside because nature's sort of leading the way. You've got to sort of work with it instead of just being like this. And that's why, you know, coming 2025, a lot of children have been educated in a system that is very boxy. And so all this stuff is thrown at them for left, right and centre. And they haven't got the skills to get to self-navigate around it, through it. You know, life is not going to be the same anymore, and we've known this since the pandemic. And giving them the skills to do that, so it's really important, and to be compassionate with each other and caring and sharing and open. And they don't have time for a lot of that unless the parent brings it in, unless they bring it in from an outside source, or you know, they're taught it separately. It's you know, I've worked in schools for over 15 years and it's go, 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 go. Like you're trying to catch your breath, you know, and that was not like that back in my day, I have to say, thank God. You know, I'm a lot older than you, but we had a lot more time, but still it wasn't quite right then, but it's a lot better than it is today. And I think in 2025, is going to be an interesting year of letting go.
Ooh.
It's going to be a lot. So you're really going to have to be very patient with yourself.
Okay, I just got chills right now. I had to take a breath when you said that. You said 2025 is going to be a year of letting go. My every hair on my back is standing up right now.
Because it's a number 9 year. 7, 8, 9. So you add it all up, it's number 9. 9 is like a completion. It's an ending of a cycle. You've got the Chinese snake coming in. The snake is shedding the old skin. You know, in energy healing. You know, and you can just tell the way the year started off. Even for myself, that's, you know, studies mindfulness meditation, works with people, works in this field, even I'm being tested, you know, and about letting go and staying in that alignment, but really connecting to yourself and to whoever it is you connect to within your heart, it's going to get back to much more heart centered and intuitive and really following what it is you want. And this herd nation, just, it's not going to be everything that we thought was probably truth. It's not going to be the truth. As we see that going on at the minute, all the records being released. So I think we have to be really much calmer with ourselves, more patient with ourselves, which is always my heartbeat. And I'm a lot patient than I used to be, but still I find it difficult. And trusting in whoever you're praying to, whoever you're connecting to, the universe, I call it God, Allah, it's one source, to guide you. And the universe, to me, God is the universe, it's everything. So it's going to answer you. So lots of grounding and look for the signs and the navigation of it. Don't go, I think, wasting your time going through the trenches trying to push on stuff because it might not be there next week. It's going to change, and you are really going to have to learn to, self-navigate, tune in, check, ground, and read your surroundings and allow the universe, because the universe to me, I feel at the moment, the veil is very thin. I feel it answers you straight away, or you might put something out without intentionally knowing and plop, it comes in another way, or you mention something next week, it's there, or it's so on your doorstep. It's like such a fast delivery of your mind and everything. That the universe now, it's a great way to read what's going on around you. Read the people. Just read everything. Like I was talking to you earlier, before the fires come, I knew something was coming. Same for the pandemic. Read the energy. Read things. Something's off. Something's not right. Okay, what's happening here? What's going on there? You might not know fully, but listen to the messages coming in for you that you need to do at this moment in time. If you're not grounded and rooted in awareness, you're going to miss it all, and then there could be a problem. And also, a lot of people, when they're trying to change something in their life, they get stuck on the story. This story's not going to work in 2025.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's not. That's what I get. It's not going. It's just not going to work. And start putting out what it is that you want, but from the heart. From the 2025 is heart.
Okay.
Authenticity. Real. Like, again, when you're looking at social media, I can tell when it's fake and it's put together fake, and you can just feel the energy. You can feel when someone's talking. I know if I go to a service, I go to a mass, I go to church, and the priest is locked in or not. That's mindfulness. Really get down. And also, there's an energy when someone's talking. So let's say you go into work, or you're pitching something, or you're going to do something. You can feel instantly whether that vibration is going to work for you or not in that environment. Whether you're wasting your time, it's not going to work, or eventually it won't. You can feel when it clicks and when it doesn't, and that's mindfulness. And it's actually really, Abraham Hicks, when Abraham was talking all the time about the alignment, that's mindfulness. If you're not mindful, you're not going to feed into that alignment. You're not going to know what alignment you're into. You're going to hook up to the right tube. And if you're not, and I think that's why a lot of people find it hard to grasp the Abraham Hicks thing. And I think if you're not present, grounded, and reading the energy, that's when the problem comes in. You keep missing it, and then you get frustrated. It's an art form. I'm still learning myself. I'm still processing. But I just do think that 2025 is definitely, I think God's just not going to take the shit anymore. Going to get slapped.
And
get back there,
am I wrong for feeling excited about this? I feel like this is a beautiful time. I mean,
exciting, it's challenging, it's frustrating,
Yes.
but it's also tiring. You have to be really patient with yourself. I'm tired. Um, Things move around a lot. Like 1 week was all there, then something's happened there, and they've all fell off, and so you have to you have to wait for the next alignment thing. Don't go pushing.
Mm.
That's the advice I can give for myself, because it's even happened with others. It's like, oh, that's gone. Oh, that's moved. Oh, okay, that's gone over there.
Mm.
It's like I'm having to even get more flexible, and even I'm finding it like,
Yes.
here we go again. It's
Right.
challenging. And I think everyone's going to go through, but it is an exciting time on with you. I think it's exciting. And I just think it's really getting back to helping one another.
Yeah.
For one another, be kinder to one another. I think this divide here, I'm not American, I'm English, I live here, but the divide, like, really, this media needs to stop. This president, this person, president. I'm so bored with it, really. Like, we just all want to get on, like, you know what I mean? Like, just change the initiative, the narrative, change the story. And that's what you're going to see in 2025. The story is going to be changed, whether you like it or not. And that's, which way do we want it to go? Which way do we want it to go?
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Wake up, get with it, bring the light in, get back to the light, get back to whoever it is, Jesus, God, angels you're praying to, get back to that and bring it into your lives, bring it into everyone else's lives. And I think it started through the fires here, where, people have been struck by people's kindness and generosity. Well, it should have always been there. Shouldn't have to wait for a catastrophe, should we, really? And I find that visiting to places in Africa, where we go a lot to Ethiopia and places like that, they'll just give you the last apple. You know what I mean? It's just their way of life, is sharing with each other every day, because they don't have a lot. So they have it down, really. They just need more wealth, and so it's just, I think helping one another, being there for one another, being kinder, and it's just get on the same page, yeah. And don't let the media segregate you all the time. That's what I think. Careful of that. I don't listen to news. I don't have cable. I don't listen to any mainstream news. I'll find out one way or another. And I prefer to call the people that live there, or call the person that lives there, to find exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
So you have to have discernment about that. And just really use your spirituality and really just let go. I think it's a let go in you. That's what I really do think that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The year of letting go. It's scary.
Speaking up for what you want, like, look at my country in England. That they've got no free speech. People are suppressed. Like, start coming together, start speaking up, start demanding what you want, start bringing in that change. We need to take our lives back, I think. We've been governed by someone else. It's not right for us. Start taking back what you want to do with your children, what you want to do with this, when you want to, you know what I mean? It's like the government's taking over your life, and that's why a lot of people in 2020 moved off grid. Right? They moved off grid. They didn't want to be in a system.
Yeah.
So the systems are going to be broken down, I think. It's going to be a lot. I think it'll be an exciting year, like you said. I don't feel it's negative. A lot of exciting things will come. I just think it will just be different, and you'll have to just be really grounded and meditate more and be really present and aware for this that's coming. You need to let go of the old and embrace the new.
Ooh. Well, Terri, I got to tell you, I think maybe part of the reason that I'm a little bit more optimistic and exciting is not just the part about the veil kind of getting thinner and more truth coming out, and us now getting to decide from the heart space what we want and how
Yeah.
to shift this energy. But I think probably part of the reason I'm doing more well is because I had you during the pandemic. I had you during that time to teach me these mindfulness skills that I'm using now. And that was part of what saved my life, was that I couldn't go anywhere. And, obviously I got introduced to you through Susie, and we had our meditation group every single Friday, and you taught me how to go to a place where where only peace and serenity could be, like in my soul garden, and how, and to truly hear angels this clearly for the first time. And I'm getting chills again. And the energy of the group together, what you were sending out to the planet, and tapping into just love and renewing ourselves each week. I use that now, Terry, in ways that, like, I'm able to go to a place, I'm able to go to that garden whenever I need to because of you. And I think that's what you've instilled in these children, is you're giving them tools to now navigate this next 2025 so that it can be as beautiful as it needs to be. Now adults need these tools too. But they're the ones, they don't want to let go of their narratives either.
No. And that's why, with our programs and our books in our foundation, we work with people, we give them all for free, to give them all the tools, meditation books, programs, I do one-on-ones. And it's like I did one-on-one with the kids for the last 2 years, funny enough, in the Palisades where the homes have gone. Hopefully a lot of that tools and that work that was done for them, that they can apply some of it through the traumatic time that they've had. There's always they were given a box of tools there. So you got to thank the universe. Why did they call it in? You're never left with nothing, are you? It doesn't matter what's happened in your life. You know what I mean? Like when people say, oh, well, I don't have anything, you do. Because I remember when my brother passed away in 2021, I had such a support background and support network from the healing energy world to help heal and move through that situation, that I know it healed and moved me like lightning, and I knew then why I was given all these spiritual tools and all these spiritual gifts to help my mother and my family through that, and other things, in life. And so you're always given things. You're never then coming up with a situation that you've been given nothing. You know what I mean? So those children that lost their homes and schools and everything in the fire, they've been coming to me for the last 2 years. Why? You know what I mean? So they have a lot of tools, and the parents have brought them back to me the last few weeks. But there is something there that's that's God saying, we've got you. You're going to be okay. You have these tools. Let's implement them. It's not like you don't have anything. And that's when the shit hits the fan, is when you can pull your toolbox out and say, right, let me use that, let me use that, let me use that, put your life jackets on. You know what I mean? But they're not having anything. So, there's so much out there, so much you can do. But it is you have to stay really grounded and aware. I find that really big time. I find that every day, like awareness, and the phones can be a very big distraction. I always say to parents, don't give your child a phone to the 15. Just don't do it. Get them a Nokia. I gave my son one. He's 14 and a half. He had one at 13. I wish I hadn't given it that much, even though he was late compared to all his friends. But you have to then get really disciplined on how much they can spend on it. It's the rabbit hole. And it's a distraction. And they're also very positive. They learn a lot of things on them. But again, balance, So just awareness of that. And that's why we do mindfulness education from nature, because can explore and get out in so many things. And like you said, you went into your garden, you go into your garden, in your mind, in your heart. It's a place that you can always go. It's never boring. The angels, everyone, the universe, the trees, everyone's talking to you in there,
Yes.
and that's, all the films that are made, like Avatar, the shack, all these people are in the nature. They're, you're sorting out your garden. You are your garden. What's in there? Little mirror. It's the place to go. It's
Yeah.
that's why, I've always done that. And I think it really works. And it's a place you can go anytime. You can access and listen and just connect to that beautiful healing place, It's important. So, yeah, I just think this year, just be very patient with yourself. And I just don't think, it's just going to, be a lot of positive things, but it's going to be a lot, I think, Charles. And I don't think we know, before, like, you knew these. No, not really. Not anymore, I don't think. I think, but just be aware of what's right for you. Just don't go with the narrative and what's not working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just for children I just think the next wave of children will be very different anyway. I think they'll be very entrepreneurial. I think it's going to be very computer driven, maybe, or ecologically. There'll be more you'll have the nature foraging children, then you're going to have the computer type children that do all the online creative stuff. And I hope they just come together and make it a better place.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so too. And we got to do the Voice for the Children podcast together, a few episodes of that, and that was just eye opening to see.
Yeah.
And to know how awakened they are, how awakened this new generation of youth are, and how motivated and enthusiastic they are to make their dreams come true and to change the world. And they know how to find they know how to find the resources. And if they don't find the resources, they don't give up. They're like, no, I need to create change. I need to create change. I will find a way. And our programming as adults is we stop ourselves. We judge everything. Like you were talking about how quickly we can manifest right now because the veil is so thin. But so many people think about the how, or, I can't get that, or, oh, I don't deserve it. I'm not worthy of that. I'm not, all these things. Whereas the youth, they've been through it, Terri. They have been through it, and we listen to their stories. And they not only have they been, they've experienced such trauma, like in the school setting, and they've also been let down by the system. And their honesty and their truthfulness was so healing. But they're showing us the way. They're showing us the path.
They are very different. The boys are softer. I find that they're still boys, but they are not as aggressive as when in my day. They always fighting or whatever. They're a bit different. I find the boys today, and the girls are definitely more stronger than in my day.
Yeah.
But the education system needs to change as well. It's that if you ask a child, where do you get the information from? YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where did you learn that? YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But it's balanced, Terri. It's balanced. Like you said, there's things that can help us, but then there's also, we got to take the other thing too. And, and you're talking about learning the tools to be able to discern, to know ourselves, to be able to judge, to be able, like you said, it's a game of flexibility right now. Like you were talking about, like moving left, moving right, you get shown something another day. And while what I'm hearing you say, Terri, is that there's a presence and a stillness in mindfulness, but also allows us to be more flexible and allows us to move out of the way when we need to move this way and shift right and shift left a little quicker. I'm using the word quicker, but it's not about speed, but it's about mindful speed.
It's like breathing the energy of, breathing is the energy that's around you. Noticing whether that energy is right for you or not, or that person's aligned with you or not. That would save people a lot of time if you learn that at a young age. don't lean into something because society said you should, or go with it, or do it. You're going to have a different way. I think we're moving out of the sheep society. Sorry to say that I've been a sheep myself, but what I'm saying is that, youth today are like my son. He will, no, that doesn't feel right to me. No, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to feel this. I don't want to do this. It doesn't feel right. I'm going to do that. Back in my day, I wouldn't have done that. I'd have just gone on and done it. So it's just really feeling in. And that's what, when people come to me for their mindfulness, not just a session, they normally come for group sessions over a period of 4 weeks or something. It's getting that fine tuning down of, clearing out what's in, working with journals, working from within, and then changing your story if you're not liking the story or you're on the same story. Or, that's another thing. You're sort of like, I think one of the guys when we were doing A Voice for Children, when you're there, but you're observing yourself all the time. Do you know what I mean? So you're there, but you're observing out in. So when someone's angry or anxious, are you going with that energy? Do you walk away feeling like it's just stepping back and not going with that energy? It's not belonging to me. You know what I mean? Or talking to somebody and they're really not interested. Like I know when someone's lying. I know when someone's not true from the heart. I know when they're just savage. I just know. You can feel it. You feel that. You feel into it. Instead of creating some story and then everyone goes with it. But is it your story? Is it, so I think we're going to get back to that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of young people, I think have that bullshit smell in there, but it's still good to teach them these skills of mindfulness and self-care and awareness, self-awareness. But unless the parents bringing it in, you're at school and you're on the bell and you're on this and you're on that, and it's good for parents to learn it as well. Like all the parents, when they bring their children, they end up coming to me as well. So it is important to not push your own story onto your children or your own narrative. That's a tricky one. That's difficult. I'm a mother. It's a hard one. I have to catch myself and watch what I'm doing. But it is. And just going with what feels right for you. Just really going with not what everyone else wants.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the hardest because we are tending to go as a group. Don't you think? I think it's more. I know I'm not going that way.
Yeah, and it takes courage to go with yourself now, because to go against the group and go with yourself, sometimes there's consequences and there's punishment and social media and people are learning, and that's how they program you. That's how, like in the Matrix, they're like, oh, you better do what we say, otherwise, and they're learning it. And sometimes if it doesn't happen to you, you see it happen to somebody else, like an observational learning. And kids are smart. They see, okay, I didn't get punished, but she got punished. He got punished. So I don't want to say the wrong thing. I'm going to say, before you know it, you say all the right things that are not you, the next right thing that is also not you. And then by the time we want to start taking this apart and getting to the you who you are, I mean, there's some work to be done. We feel a little bit lost, and it's scary to be like, okay, who am I? Where have I given up my power for so long? And
you know what? Also try new things to know that you're not asleep or you're not going to sleep. That's another thing, yeah. It's just like just go somewhere new or walk somewhere new or do something new so you're not. Do you know what I mean? Like, because everything is in front of us. Like I've been going to yoga for a year or more now, and I didn't realise that, down the road here, that after the class they've got acupuncture. Why have I not noticed that? I mean, that's stupid. It was somebody else that mentioned it, and why have I not seen that? So I always say that everything that we need is right there, and the universe just pops it out when you want it, and it's just always right. Everything I've looked for has always been on the doorstep. You just don't see it, or it doesn't present itself because you're not aligned to receive it. And it's, so, be open to it, be open to the alignment and wait, be patient. Doesn't always come in that quick, but everything I always come across is why have I not seen that? It's right there. That's that irritates me the most. But I always say to people, if you want to do just a simple mindful exercise, this is a really simple one. No, whenever anything's taking over or anything, you just take a minute to just put everything down and take some few deep breaths. The breath is so important. Breathe to take, so this mindful exercise can be done anywhere. So just even in the car, so take some nice deep breaths. Just don't close your eyes in the car. Take some nice deep breaths into your nose and out through your mouth. Just have some real good deep breaths, Just check in with yourself. How am I feeling at this moment in time? Like, you're anxious. Why am I anxious? Where am I feeling this within my body? Without judgment. Just being aware of it. Why am I tired? What's my body trying to tell me? Why am I tired? Why am I angry? What am I missing? Why am I off balance? Have you left yourself off the list? You could be tired, you could be angry, you could be sad, you could be, agitated. So it's just stop and just go within it. What is your soul missing at this moment in time? Or how are you feeling at this moment in time? And one word will come up, or you might get a message, this is what you need. And then, then proceed. And if an answer doesn't come, that's okay, but just slow everything down. And you call that a stop practice. We've got lots of free meditations on there. There's lots on our website. It's called a stop practice. And there's lots of other free meditations on there. But just you can do that throughout the day before you probably argue with anyone or you make a decision. Just, tune into the alignment of that person or the energy, or whether it feels right. Just calm everything down. And I do that with all the children, is to really just take a moment, stop. So stop, take a breath, observe, and proceed. Let's just, for a minute, don't go. Very simple techniques. And there's many others that are on our website that are for free. But just take a few minutes to just connect with that and just take a minute to just hold on and just take a minute here. And, and be quiet for a bit. Give your mind space so you can hear. For that space in your mind to become available for you to hear what's wrong. Hear that inner voice, which is always right. But if it's full and you're not coming from that alignment place, then you're going to pick up another message. And that's what Abraham Hicks was always saying, in that alignment. You're listening to that moment, you're feeling that moment. If they're not mindful and grounded in awareness, they're not going to feel it. And that's I know when I've gone off. The key is to know when you've gone off balance. Why am I anxious? Why am I irritated? Why am I bored? What do you think their soul's trying to tell you, Listen. And I always go and have a walk in nature, or go pick up a book to read, or my go-to is walking in nature. It might be yoga, it might be meditation, it might be drawing, it might be art. Do something else. Don't go on the rabbit hole. Don't go on the wrong page. And that's what the key is, to teach those tools young, and also social emotional learning. At school, we talk a lot about school because a lot of things come from home and school, don't they? When I do a circle in groups, whether it's with the mothers or the children or the teachers, I took a group of teachers recently at UCLA. And just to listen to them share, you could hear each one, you could see them looking at each other. And one teacher said, it'd just be nice if we just said hello to each other when we pass each other. It's just we're so busy, we didn't see each other. And I think it's sad that we don't say, hi, how are you, and greet one another. We don't even do that anymore. And you could see some of the teachers were like, oh, that really struck a chord. That they didn't realise that's how she felt, and they were actually doing it. Because you're not doing let's all check in and have a moment. Let's share. And then, oh, okay. But if you're not doing that, you're just on run, it's again, you're not, it's not, tuning, listening and aware and taking time. What are we all rushing for anyway? I don't know. I don't know.
Terri, you always
On your deathbed saying, what a waste of my time that was.
you always say the you always say that I'm not gonna cry, but I might cry. You just first of all, thank you for that, Terri. I needed that. I think this was probably the first time I got to really check in with myself like that. And you always say the things that my heart like needs to hear literally in this moment. Like why are we rushing? And I feel a lot of people need to hear that right now, and it makes me feel like, yeah, why?
Spend time with those you love. You'll never get it back. It's not stuff and things and glory and medals and people like you. People that love you and you spend time with and your pets, whether your friends or your family, they're gone. You'll never get it back. And we do all rush and we all think time's running out and we're never going to be successful and we're never going to be this and we're never going to be that. And what is that? And that's programmed, I think, from school. Let's go on the bell. Let's go. Let's move. I'm not blaming the whole of education, but it's okay for doing nothing. It's okay just to be and to just enjoy people and time and nature. And you'll find that nature will connect with us a lot more now. Like I noticed my birds, when their food's empty, they're like on my door, like coming up the window, the squirrels screaming like, where's my nuts? Like there's a massive, connection with nature going on if anyone's noticing. Hummingbirds right in your face, they're walking.
It's the hummingbirds.
Yeah, the hummingbirds are massive. They come to my door. I'm sitting there outside and it's like coming down. I'm like, what's going on here? And they look over, it's like, my water's empty. Hello. And the squirrel plastics are just a real big, and I'll sit there and I'll say, where's my bluebird today? Bloody bluebird turns up. And I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? So it's like, nature's like speaking to us in such a big way. And
Beautiful.
tune into that. I mean, oh my God, she's magical. I mean, I just love her. And it just can speak to a tree. I know people think I'm mad, but when I see a big tree, and especially when I'm in England, I have a certain tree I always go up and put my hands on, and I always get a message. And not every tree, but certain trees you'll get a message. You should be able to touch your hand on that tree, and that tree will answer you with what you need, everything. And people think, like, actually, we're meant to read that. We're not separate. You're going to go back into Mother Nature when you're done. You come from there. You're going to go back in.
That's right.
So it's a beating heart and soul just like ours, but fundamentally, no.
Wow.
So do connect.
Yeah.
Get off your devices. Devices are good. We all use them. I use them, but just know when to switch off and say, you know what, make me feel good. I need to put it down.
Well, Terri, you've given so many great tools. And anyone who's listening to this, now you have every reason to be mindful. Whatever you can think of, you've given us a tool and a way of getting back to our heart space and connecting. And I'm so glad that you mentioned nature, because it really is one of the fastest ways that we can get ourselves connected back to God, connected to ourselves. And I'm going to try that, Terri. I'm going to put my hand on a tree and and I'm just going to, to feel into it. So if I have a message from the wise ones, and, because like you said, that we all go back into the ground.
Yeah. And if you do, young children, they hear it straight away. Like, keep that magic in them. And just to tell anyone, if anyone needs help at this time, to reach out to our foundation. Charles will put all the information there. We have free books, mindfulness books, My Magic Garden, My Magical Tree. We have programs of meditation. Please do reach out to us. We're here to help communities, foster care children, anyone that's in need, trauma children at the moment, people who've been displaced from the fires. Do reach out to us, because we have all these tools, all these books, all these programs, and we will donate them for free. We're not asking, for anything, just to mention us, and but we're here to help and serve, everyone. So do get in contact with us, and then I'm sure you'll put the link below. And, they can feel free to reach out to us at any time.
Yes, Terri. Yes, I'll leave all of your information below, and also do check out the Magic of Miracles podcast, also hosted by Terri Allen and Buddy Abraham, as well as the Voice for the Children podcast, which is also hosted within the Magic of Miracles podcast. We've got several episodes there, which will really go along with this mindfulness topic and education. And I mean, I really don't know what to say other than thank you for the message of hope, Terri. We're going to be okay, right?
I think, we're at a time whereas the tide is turning, but, let's get a grip now, yeah? Like, it's not 50%, it might be 25%. It needs to just go up. It needs to really now stop. Let's just get back to what we helping one another, being there for one another, connecting to, God, the angel source, whoever you connect with, just really get back to helping and supporting our planet, ourselves, each other, any which way we can, and not choosing sides and not picking sides. And it's just a waste of time. So just going around in circles. That's just, so let's just get back to that. And, once we heal, Mother Nature's always going to win. It's up to us.
That's right. Well, thank you for this connection, for our connection, and helping me to get back to connection. And yeah, I think there's nothing else to say, Terri. Mother Nature's always going to win. How about that? That's it. Let's get back into nature. Let's connect, everyone. Thank you so much, Terri Allen, for being here, my friend. And thank you, everyone, for listening. And yes, please check out the Angels of Light Children Foundation. All the links below to donate, to go see all the links and support Terri Allen's work bringing mindfulness to children across school districts and schools that are not even in this district. So,
yeah, to anyone in need, correct, globally or in the United States. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Terri. Thank you.
Always a pleasure.